Hello everyone, Happy New Year. I've been wanting to do this more long form content for a really long time, but my schedule hasn't really been in place for me to be able to do so. So here we are. If you'd like to listen to me ramble on and just chat shit, you have come to the right place. But this is hopefully going to be a way for me to just communicate where I'm at, what I'm up to, and if one, you're interested in the journey, there'll be lots of stuff that I have going on. And two, if you are an aspiring DJ producer, maybe this will help you. I don't know, but we'll see. And this is kind of something for me to look back on, documenting what has been a lovely journey so far. And yeah, I'm just interested as to where it's going to go in the next couple of years. So sit tight. So today, in the interest of the first video that I'm doing like this, I'm basically going to go through the history of Samuel. So like what is my background, where did my inspiration come from, what got me into this, and if for people who know me, this will be a bit of a trip down memory lane, and for anyone who's new to this channel and me as an artist, hopefully it'll be nice for you to sort of see my background and what's got me here. So without further ado, I'd probably say my first sort of what got me into music has to be my family. So I'd get picked up by my parents and essentially be listening to Pete Tong on Radio 1 when I was like getting picked up from childminders or on the way to school. My dad would go off to see the Chemical Brothers, Underworld, and essentially all music, but specifically electronic music. I was exposed to it at a very young age, and I guess it just rubbed off on me. I remember coming back from school one day, and this is when I was kind of, I think maybe 14, 15 or 16, I'm not too sure. And my dad, I'd shown him the Madian pop culture video that went viral about 15 years ago. And it has a Novation launchpad and a guy, basically Madian, playing all these pop samples, and it's essentially like a little 5-minute mashup. I'll link it somewhere. And yeah, he bought me and my brother one, I think, just to be like, oh my God, you'll be able to do that too. Steep learning curve, and I definitely didn't really grasp the concept of Ableton when I was 15, and I wasn't so interested in production, but I did have a lot of fun with that. It was definitely my kind of first taste of production, making music, and even though I wasn't making music, I was putting these little edits together, and they were pretty terrible. But I enjoyed doing it, and I was grateful for that gift. I'm pretty sure one time I actually downloaded the file that Madian used, and I think I did like a performance in assembly. But yeah, no, other than that, I think my career was pretty much over. But anyway, as things were moving on, I kind of got this apprenticeship and started earning a bit of money, and I'd watch my brother go off to all these raves. And I just had this immense FOMO, and we'd FaceTime and I kind of watch him on live streams and be like, try and find him and his mates in the crowd. And I always just remember thinking, I can't wait till I'm 18 so I can go to all these parties, these clubs. I remember them going to Ultra, going to Miami, ADE, like all in 1 year, and I was just like, my mind is blown. So I ended up buying one of the, I want to say Newmark. It was a Newmark Mix Track Pro 3 or Pro 2. And I started learning to DJ. So I basically bought this £50 controller that plugged into my laptop. It was free software. My laptop would crash all the time and it had no battery, so I'd have to keep the charger in if it was at a house party or if I was just DJing with my mates. And I think the obsession just grew from there. I would just download tracks, play them, and learn just the concept of mixing from one track to the next. So I then hit 17, and I think the FOMO got too much, and I bought a ticket to Creamfields. I don't know, I didn't really think much about it. I spoke to my brother and just said that I'd love to go, and he was like, you probably get in, like they never ID, ever. So I thought, all right, cool, I'll buy a ticket. Didn't really have to mention it to mum and dad. I just pretty much bought a ticket. I was like, I'm going, and they were like, right, okay, might be a lesson to learn here, I'm not sure. But we got on the bus, everyone was really confident, we were having a great time, and then when we got in the queue, everyone started to shit themselves and think, Sam's not getting in. Everyone was just going quiet around me, and I was thinking, what have I done? I'm gonna have to go back from Daresbury, Cheshire, I'm gonna have to literally like, how am I getting home? They're all gonna be having a great time at the festival. But it was fine. I remember walking through, them giving my ticket over, and I was just looking at the lady, and she just gave it back and was like, enjoy the festival, have a great time. And I just swiftly walked to the tents. But then that weekend pretty much was one of the greatest memories I'd say of my life. Like I literally remember 3 days of just complete carnage, seeing all these DJs that I'd listened to. And just, it was a fantastic experience. And I think that's where I just really decided that I'd absolutely love to do this for a living. And this is something that I just want to always be around. So yeah, it kind of, before I even turned 18, I'd had this unreal experience at Creamfields that kind of desensitized me to what club culture is, which was just wacky. And I think a sign of things to come. So much so that I'd come back and I basically, I think when I turned 18, I could finally get a loan. I literally got like all the full set. It's the same set of decks that are there, and I bought a full set of CDJs. I bought an XTJ 1000, two of those, and a DGM 850 mixer, which I still use. And yeah, I just was like, right, let's go. I don't know, for anyone who's starting out, that is not the start point. Do not go and buy yourself a couple of grand's worth of decks and get yourself in debt, which I just paid off over like 4 years. But I'm very glad I did do it, so take what you will from that. And yeah, I just started DJing in my hometown. So like anywhere that would have me, I started running my own night, which was called Discotheque with a friend. I think the Instagram's still out there somewhere. And yeah, we would do like mixes for it, we'd do the promo. When he was DJing, I'd go out on the streets and flyer and get people in. Vice versa, when I was on the decks, he'd do the same. And then when it was full capacity, we'd both be doing back to back and just having a great time. I think we called it Discotheque because it was that time where Radio 1 was playing kind of a lot of melody, and a lot of those kind of like house disco records came out at that time. And we were just like, oh, maybe this will be a way to kind of an angle for us to get in and encourage people, because our hometown's not necessarily known as a big hub for dance music. And then when everyone was in, we just played music we wanted to play, and it was some of the greatest memories of going out. It was so much fun. Whilst we were doing these nights and I was kind of picking up gigs here and there, I think I got an opportunity to play in the Tunnel in Motion, which was pretty massive for me at the time. Like, I couldn't believe that. It was right before COVID. I think it was something like 1 o'clock in the morning to like 5 or something like that. And that was just insane. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is like going in the right direction. I was also dabbling at production at the same time. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have anything that was like listenable, if that makes sense. But then boom, COVID hit, and obviously everything stopped. So I started doing these live streams in the garden, which I don't know if any of you remember, again with my family, which I definitely will put a video here somewhere which might make you laugh. I started taking production seriously because I just knew, right, if I want this to go further, I need to basically pull my finger out and actually make some tracks and learn how to do it. So as I say, I'd been dabbling at it. I think I first bought Logic in 2016, but I was just dipping in and out, and I thought, no, I do really want to take this seriously. So there's a lot of mentors out there, there's a lot of people who have helped me, and I pretty much just started Googling like how to produce, did a few courses, nothing like, not like a college course or anything like that, just online, and like going onto YouTube and just learning as much as possible, join communities where you can learn, speak to other artists and just get like lots of feedback, things like that. And I started just to get better at it. And I used to hate the stress of trying to finish a track. And the more I did it, the more I actually was like, oh, do you know what, I really like this. I'll always love being in a club and DJing. That's what I think that's what really like resonates with me. But I started to really love the sort of stillness of production and like how you have to concentrate, focus, and you can make something that's completely yours. So fast track, past COVID, things start picking up again. I didn't jump straight back into DJing all the time like I was before, because I just think I found that production was something that I just really needed to grow, like my sort of like knowledge, how to complete tracks, and how to also like find my sound. So I just kept on honing in on it, and track by track, I just started to like my music rather than getting to the end and thinking, oh, I don't really want to play that. So yeah, I'd say, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, I got my first record signed, and I've got I've had an EP out and another track since then and a remix. It's just been this continual process where I've just finished a track and then been really interested to see how like I can take those skills that I learned, put it into a new track. And discovering a lot about sort of what I really like to make and like what music I like to DJ. So basically for that whole sort of like 8, 9, 10 year period, I was working for a company, and you know, I loved working there. It was something that I loved the people, I actually really liked the work, but I knew if I wanted to have a bit more flexibility in my life so I could dedicate more time to music, and also to try and create the life that I kind of long-term want, I knew that I'd have to essentially jump into a freelance position. That's something that's more flexible. So year and a half, year and 3 months ago, I did that, and I basically freelance on the side in marketing and social media. So yeah, here we are, 2026. I've now kind of built that business, so I've got income and life's great. And now I can dedicate more time to music and get my head down and just enjoying life. So hopefully I'll see many of you at the gig in January on the 30th at Brixton Jam. I'm playing for Soca Loco with Warung and Boxer. Dream gig, really excited, and yeah, it's going to be a really good year. And if anyone wants to get in touch, anyone has any questions, if you are a producer and you genuinely don't know what the hell you're doing, just either send me an email, DM me. I'm here to help. And if you've managed to listen for this long, I appreciate that. And we'll see what happens in the next video. Take care.